Alright, hello everybody, it is I, Roguescaper, doing some live unboxing. Surely the first person to have a chance to open these out of all Heroscape content creators, I'm sure. This is going to be more just a quick run through, seeing what we have. We have pretty much the full lot, so kindly given to me by Renegade, so I'm going to go in through this real fast. I will be taking this footage as well as other footage, and I'll be turning this into a more refined review that I usually do with the close-ups and the turnarounds and my perspective. But today, I am too impatient to wait, and I wanted to open these. And so we're just gonna dive in. So starting off, we have the G.I. Joe Strike Forces box. Got lots of fun little guys in it. First off, I just want to say I really love the artwork on at least this. I wish Scape could kind of have this quality of art. All the characters and all the design looks really great. I love that we have gradually shifted away from purple. Now, I don't hate the color purple, but I like blues and greens a whole lot more. So I'm happy on a visual side of things just to transition colors a bit. All right, this is the unpainted Strike Forces box. They do come in painted and unpainted, of course. So this is the unpainted. That's where I'll be spending most of my time with. I'm going to create an absolute mess today. Going to see me at my chaotic best. So this comes with the bespoke zipline glyphs, which are always a nice little fun thing to have. Well, looks like my mom's phone. Very readable, never a bad thing. I think it's just a little bit jarring because it is so different. But good art. At least it has art. I will give it that. The color red of the glyph feels a few shades off, which is really inconsequential, I'd say. We have the cards. I'm going to say the card stock feels very good. I don't know if it was declining in the last few waves, but this feels nice and hardy. Almost feels a bit thicker and hardier than previous releases. I really like the blue and green of the G.I. Joe cards. I do feel like Cobra is a bit too similar to Utkar, but not different enough to really matter. Jinx and Kamakura. I play these guys at Sascon. They're really fun, if not a bit tricky to coordinate. I think they need a bit more utility to kind of figure out their best ninja synergies, but as more and more ninjas seem to be releasing, I think they'll be a mainstay. And also good defense, multiple lives. They could honestly just slot into your army even if you don't have other ninjas. Lady J, I think this is the most fun unit from the set here. As we zip out of focus. I think there's a bunch of wonky things you can do with zipline glyphs. I really think my crazy idea is to build an impossibly tall crab top tower, put zipline on top of it, and then just have people go up and down an impossibly tall crab tower. But I think she's probably just a good 60-point filler. She has some unique tech. It's tough when you have, I love that it's tough when you have glyphs not as a card, but here they have it. That's a really great ad. I think one of the reasons the Zenithrax is hard to use is because you don't have that Fine Glyph card. And we have Crimson Twins. These guys are really interesting, can turn people to Cobra. And Varanus, I'm going to be using her mainly to move my buddy SI4X around. I think she's pretty good, but she's pretty, I think, appropriately costed. Okay. Here are the figures themselves. I really love the detailing on these a whole lot more than I think I will the pre-painted model. You're just going to see a lot of the fun little stories and details. I love that they have the emblems. Pair, I love that their unique life pool mechanic is just fun. I think G.I. Joe was a chance to include a lot of very different abilities and make them fun and thematic. So really cool sculpts. I'm missing a card. Oh wait, no, he was hiding. This is Jinxon. I never realized he had a chain whip type of deal. His art kind of makes it look more like just two sides. So he threw me off for a second here. That's Kamakura right there. I really like this model better even than the card art. This is a really fun model. I'll have a lot of a lot of fun time painting this one, just because I think it's the most dynamic pose we've seen so far. I think Baroness is probably the least interesting of the bunch. She has a pretty static pose. I never like when figures are crouching, even if it's thematic. I mean, it makes sense. It's just, I'm probably the least excited to paint this one. There's not much you can do here. And Lady J, I do appreciate that she's in the Master of the Hunt pose. That's kind of a fun posing here. I don't know how they feel compared to Classic Scape. For some reason, maybe it's just me, it feels like the legs are like just a tad bit too long, but maybe that's just because I don't know what human legs look like. But it feels like they're just slightly longer than standard Scape. But maybe that's just my initial perception. I have like a drone on hand here. But drones aren't like people. They seem a little bit taller, I think, by a small marginal quality. Okay, so we've got these here. Yeah, I really like this set. I think if you're just wanting to dip your toes into Joe and just get a wide variety of things, this is a tough set just to recommend as a standalone, though, just because like Jinx and Kamakura don't have any bonding in the set, but everyone else is pretty standalone, which is nice. Okay, just in no particular order. Let's do the colored version actually in a particular order, just to compare and contrast. I mentioned the chat, but I am not like a G.I. Joe fan. I know almost next to nothing about the IP. My dad's really excited about it. We're gonna be getting some games in, maybe even film some of those. All right, so we have the Baroness. Yeah, she's okay. Like I said, not a very interesting pose. I think the color and application is pretty decent. I mean, she has a little bit on her lips, just a sloppy lipstick kind of day. But I mean, we all have those. I think an important thing to remember about the eyes and all that kind of stuff is that you're seeing these, from down here. Most people aren't going up into the macro lens and, trying to get that detail going. For the most part, my eyes are looking fairly decent. I'm not complaining about these, but these guys have really fun colors. Blue and red is always a nice color palette to work with, just because of their contrasting nature. The bases, I will admit, feel like classic Heroscape bases. This is so nice. No warping, no bending. They even have like the engraved. This is nice. The bases feel so nice. Yeah, that's a huge step up in quality right there. The bases I can't bend. They're not the same material. And also that probably means that if you wanted to take them off, they're probably two separate parts now. So that might make breaking them off the original base, if you want to put stickers on top of these, even better. Because I tried to do that with the classic units, and it was just kind of, I mean, not the classic, but the Age of Annihilation units, and it was always tough because they're melded as one mold. We have the Ninja. This is such a cool pose. I really appreciate this model. If you want this to really pop, just put a thin black wash over it, and it will look really, really nice. No, this is probably my favorite model I've seen. I never really paid much attention to it, but just you have the dynamic angle, you have the flowing scarves, you have the cool pose. Yeah, I am a huge fan of that model. AJ. You know what? Same pose as one of the gallery, actually, now that I look at it, which is fine. Probably not the best paint job. I don't know how I feel about painted lips. I typically don't do that. I just skip doing that. But they even got the nice little detailing on the belt buckle. Yeah, this is pretty nice to just see. I think both options are good. I think if you just want to get some pre-painted Scape and jump it right into it, this will be perfectly acceptable for you. No, these feel nice. They feel just more solid than previous iterations. The applications are really nice and really clean. All the color is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, they've definitely upped their pre-painted game, and of course I am happy by that. Just grab something. I have too many boxes. Let's go to Serpentor. Just the sound of, I can just do a little ASMRs. The sound of the Escape being opened up is quite pleasant and relaxing. All right, so we have Serpentor. He is a really cool bigger. He is quite tall. I don't know if canonically he is supposed to be taller than standard. But again, very good application. Skin looks pretty acceptable. They even have the various parts on the belly and the scales separated. Overall, a very, very nicely painted model. It's nice the fangs cover the eyes, you can't see those. Again, just a thin black wash over this will really make this feel more classic, but honestly, it's great as is. Here's the box art. I really just, yeah, I appreciate it. He's a funny little guy. I might repaint him just to be more of a higher quality paint job, but really, someone put this on the battlefield. There is no shame in that there. It's a fun model. Again, kind of that Pote striking forward with an arm raised is very similar to almost like a Cyprin, very Cyprin in nature. I always love flowing capes, are always very nice details on models. He's a cool figure. So yeah, double attack is always nice. More heroes need to have that or have some way of multi-attacking. Single attacking heroes are always tough. 4, 4, 6 are just great stats to have. And he's 6 move. I didn't realize that. He's fast. He's a beat stick. He bonds with Cobras. He bonds with Romans. He has the I'll do it myself power, so you can have some of that flexibility, which is nice. So you don't even have to put him in like bonding builds. If you just want him as like a can opener beat stick, he can serve that role as well. And subtracting 1 from defense just for every figure, even if you're friendly, is tough. Makes them hard to use with the Cobras, but I'm trying to think if there's any unit you would want your defense to be lowered by. None I can think of. Maybe in a weird way with no, not repulsors, because they want to defend. Something that, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of mechanics out there for wanting to fail a defensive role. All right, got another big hefty box here. Let's dive into the premium. I might have to zoom out a bit here because it's so big. The battle box. This art is really nice. It's dynamic. This is what I'm hoping the Secrets of the Citadel. Oh wait, we already have the box arts revealed, but I love dynamic art like this. I hope Age of Annihilation has a box redesign, because I never liked that original art. But you see all the characters. I see this on the game store shelf. I'm saying, hey, what's going on here? I want to test it out. I wonder if we'll ever get like this kind of terrain with the Cyropods, whatever those are. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, this art is really nice. You can tell that they just took a lot of time caring about this. Again, good stuff here. Battle box time. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Okay, so we have this as terrain pieces. I think if you do like a pen wash or an oil wash on these, they'll be even more prominent. It's tough that they're kind of like this dull gray. I wish it was like a couple of shades darker. I do like how they're like classic ruins, how the connecting points are built in. It's kind of tough with I love the larvals, but they are tough to, sometimes I don't use them just because I want to find all the pieces. Oh yes, that fits very nice. That's a very satisfying fit right there. This is a line of sight blocker that just genuinely blocks line of sight. Like, you know, compare this to a tree. Even more so than like a ruin, because it has a bit of extra height and angularity to it. So you can even kind of be like right here on the edge and still block line of sight from certain angles. I would love more terrain like this, but with like holes cut in the middle. So your placement along it does kind of matter. But maybe that's, you know, true line of sight is always kind of like a touchy subject. And here it's not like a touchy subject, but it's like, do we try to make that mechanic more or less part of the game? I haven't been able to find where I feel about it as well. This is going to create some really fun maps, I think. I think we can create some fun labyrinthine maps. Yeah, there's just really, I think just having one of these in a start zone in your casual games will be fun, like if you put in a ruin there. Yeah, I'm excited to see what map builders do with this. It's nice and sturdy, very, you know, this won't break. very rigid material. Again, a little bit uninteresting visually. I think there'd be some ways to spruce it up. I wish they had some texture here in these flat panels. We have some concrete tiles. And then we have the Toxic Terrain, my new favorite terrain piece. It has a very dark, probably won't glow because it's not charged by blue light. Oh, I should have brought my blue light out and did that. But this is going to be really cool. I think even beyond just concrete tiles and G.I. Joe stuff, like you're making like a spooky Halloween map. Like these tiles will fit perfectly. Just going to build these. No one can stop me. Yeah, these are really cool looking. This is the kind of dimensionality I want on my board. I just love the way these look. They don't look too much like swamp tiles. They stand very unique as their own thing. And I'm hoping map makers aren't scared of their debuff. I really like. I think there's a lot of cool potential for them on the battlefield. I agree. I would, if they put this in a little sleeve for $20, $25, I'd buy like 3 of those. Just wishing I could buy 10. Like they're nice. And then we have some shadow tiles. I love shadow tiles are getting. It's nice to see, because I mean we need more beneficial terrain. Like we have enough terrain that really makes things hard to play into, but terrain that gives you some sort of benefit is always nice to see. All right, so we have the Orthodontist, my favorite Joe figure, shown so far. I mean, just the boldness to go into battle wearing nothing but this, you have to admire. I was reading his bio. I find it so funny that he's an orthodontist. You know, I always felt like those people were, you know, people that work in oral surgery have the most capability of evil. But he's my favorite figure to play. Just his passive movement bonding, his ability to control uniques. He's underrated. I think he's the worst figure to put into a Joe army. But if you just want like different weird builds, especially in kind of limited formats, yeah, he's really great. Put him with bears, like the Ordo, to move him up. You know, I had a really good run with him last OHS season in a weird Thorman build, as he was able to kind of move all the heroes concurrently, even the Kraken he summoned. I'm always looking for ways to include this guy in my army. So he's really nice, as well as aesthetically. He's pretty decent. A big purple cape. You know, it's I think this will be a more fun one to paint to get some really interesting shadows and lighting on that figure, but not bad. Yeah, I'd say everything here feels just a tad bit overscaled if I had to guess. Here is Destro. Really, I mean, in terms of pre-paint, it's pretty good. Honestly, I don't think you'd do much better if you painted this yourself. You might be able to get a bit more lighting on some of the parts, but for the most part, this is what you're going to end up looking. So all I know about G.I. Joe is from the community episode where they parodied it. So we have Cobra Commander here, you know, it's a pretty fun model. Nice. You have the benefit of having no faces. You do have a lot of trim, like on the model itself. So this is probably actually a harder model to paint if you wanted to do it accurately. I love the dual tone cape is a nice addition. Very interesting posing. I like the guns outward facing. Okay, we got Duke. Again, I don't think the eyes are that bad. At least, I mean, if you're zooming in with the macro lens on your phone, it's going to look off. I really don't. I think this is just Canon colors, but it's just, I'm not liking the colors, but I think that's just what he has, so there's not much you can do with it. It's kind of an ugly shade of yellow for a figure. There he goes. They're durable, you can tell that. But yeah, probably he's okay. He's not, honestly, Duke is he's okay. I don't have much to say about him. I think that's just how he is. He's just your everyday good American guy. We have, what's her name? I haven't got to the cards yet. Scarlet, I think? Yeah. Again, these guys kind of have the bright colored tones, and I like that we have a red-haired unit. We really don't have that many red-haired Heroscape units if you look back. Like, I think there's like maybe like 1 or 2 in the entire game. So it's nice to get some more of that. It's going to be tough for me to stick to canon color schemes when I paint these. Just because it's, I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just, I mean, the bad guys have such a cooler color palette. We have baby Niflheim here, otherwise known as Roadblock. I think his eyes are the most noticeable, but even then, not terrible. This will be, I think, one that will really benefit from painting yourself. You can do some fun glow effects on the cannon and really just buff up the contrast. Yeah, I really like this guy. I think just he's the thing I most appreciate about the Joe sets is they really make the heroes feel powerful but not overpowered. Like there's something that you want to include in your army. Here is, I need to get the cards up. I am forgetting the G.I. Joe names. Here's the bad guy ninja. Storm Shadow, that's it. Just, I like Shadow Tile. I like his Whirlwind Assault with 4 attack is really nice. It's just a little squishy is the only problem. We need a ninja hero that just like boost ninja's defense against commons even. This is going to be a fun one to paint with white. I think you can really do a lot of fun things with the white cloth just to really kind of make it pop a lot more. We got the insignia showing through, which I always love. I'm not good at freehanding. It's not my skill set. Good pose, really good pose. You feel like he's about to start swarming blades around. And we have Snake Eyes, who I think, I understand why they designed him so simply. Mainly just because everyone's going to play him. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, and I know about Snake Eyes. He's the Pikachu of Pokemon. He's just like, oh yeah, that's Snake Eyes. He's cool. So I talked to some people who are really big Joe heads, and they said there's got to be like, this is like an early version of him or something, because Snake Eyes should be like a 300 point character is what they're saying. So maybe we'll get a 2.0 in the future. Okay, so that's all the figures. That's a good assortment. I think this battle box is a lot better than the previous battle box in the sense that I think there is more cohesive armies you can play here. It's very, very clearly these guys against, yeah, these guys. Like it pairs well, and I don't know. I have to check to see how well the points are balanced with each other. And we have our black 24 hexes, which is really nice. This will be, I think, a really great army building tool. It offers no terrain, but it is just aesthetically very nice. I love that we have different 24 hexes. I think there will be like some really fun things you can do with the tiles here, like some really cool patterns. Like imagine this with some mushrooms and some dungeon tiles on it. That's going to look pretty nice. This is a nice crispy piece. Yeah, there's a lot you can do here with the 24 black hexes. I'm glad they're the black hexes and not the concrete, which is probably my least favorite terrain type. We have the rule book, and we have the game content. So you have 2 books for this one. I can't remember if the previous one had it all. I'm not going to go into depth in all the terrain and scenarios listed here, but these are hefty, high quality books. These aren't like, I'd say, like they have some heft to them, some weight. I'm definitely gonna have to paint Cobra Commander's sword to be that cool blend there. Oh great, they took new pictures for the rule book. Like it's very cohesive. Very nice set. I think this is, if someone's on the fence about getting the Heroscape, this is a good entry point. Especially if they're familiar with G.I. Joe. You have the dice. I love the blue 20. Eat your heart out, Gilberts. 15. That's the best roll I've ever rolled in Heroscape. A bunch of dice. Okay. It seems like they're slated more towards defense on one roll. Never mind. I just can't roll at all. Yeah, nice. Just 1 hour loop of hearing this. This all Escaper needs. Okay, we got the wound markers. Not going to dump those out because they're hard for me to pick up. Here are Destro's glyphs. Again, they're very large font. Not a problem. And I'd rather have people who are visually impaired be able to read this better. I really don't know how I feel about Destro. I haven't theory crafted with him too much on what's good units to apply the abilities to. Oh, and Glyph of Brandar, you've returned, my son. Okay, blue OMs, which is very nice. I can't remember if these are a similar shade that we've gotten before or a different hue, but look nice. Great if you're playing a Jandar army. Let's glance at these cards real fast. I talked about them, but I like the back of the glyph cards too. That's a nice upgrade. Okay, Mindbender, like I talked about, really fun unit in the right circumstances. He's not your cheese guy, but anything less than cheese, he's, 4 defense with range 5. He stays around for a while, especially since he doesn't do enough damage that he becomes our primary target. But especially with a little suggestion, you're able just to bring support. So he's usually pretty, you can compare this guy with SI4X, and you're looking at a 5 defense figure that is, able to take control of other people. So pretty good there. Storm Shadow, like I talked about, Mika Connor has even gotten less useful as, Cobra is just everything she does, but better. Destro, I think there's a lot of army building potential with Destro. I haven't even dived into all of it, especially VC land. What needs the wounding? What needs the gun? What needs the flying and defense? It's tough to figure out for me. I'd love to see some builds with this guy though, and yeah, he's definitely designed for the Cobra pod. But what other uses remain to be seen. Snake Eyes, I feel like Snake Eyes is fun. He's easy. He's a person I give to my dad and say, hey, you can play. He has easy abilities to use. I just wish he had a little bit more life or defense. He's really easy to take down. Or Evasive 2 was just Evasive 4, something ridiculous. Duke is... he's a lot of points. And comparatively, I don't know if he ever will justify those points. I don't think a lot of people have experimented with army building around Duke too much. I haven't seen too much talk on him. He requires order marker activations. So I think there's some examples of him, but I think he's trickier to use. But he hits like a tank. Attack 4, range 6 is pretty interesting. Bonds with heroes. And boost soldiers' attack. So I think, he gets pretty spicy if you set him up right. I fear someday someone will bring him with 4th Mass and just figure that out. And that would be the end of all of us. We're not going to open all the contents. We'll just look at the figures for compare and contrast. So we have Roadblock, the enemy of all Devatefs here. Yeah, I really like his unpainted form a lot better. You can see his facial sculpting show through. Mindbender, Bending Minds. Man, orthodontists are ripped. What do you have to do? Pulling teeth and pulling weights. Duke looks a lot better unpainted. Scarlet looks a lot better unpainted. A lot more you can do with this here. But they're well sculpted. I'm just going to make all G.I. Joe fans mad and just give him just a standard a standard skin tone face just to pick off every G.I. Joe fan ever. That would be funny. Not too much different here. I think the Cobra definitely looked better pre-painted, but I think the G.I. Joe have a lot more potential for a glow up with painting them. This looks pretty nice, I will say though. And Snake Eyes. Yeah, this will be a fun one to do some cool effects too. All right, let's look at some green shirts. This is the painted version here. The unpainted sculpts are usually really good. Yeah, they got a lot of potential here. I'm going to be painting Joe for the next couple weeks on this channel, so strap in. I think the green shirts have probably the worst art out of all the G.I. Joes I've seen so far. I think the Battlecopter is pretty nice. Interesting, the Battlecopter kind of is at an angle. They're not broken. I've opened up another box and they just kind of have that slight tilt to them. I think I was looking at the official battle art. I think that's supposed to be hollow, but it looks fine kind of being solid plastic. I imagine those thin beams would break if it was just that way. Yeah, this is a pretty nice and simple, like it. The worst part about this is just it's storage. Like, how are you gonna store 5 of these is the real question. You know, where are you gonna put 4 or 5 of these? And the green shirts themselves. Yeah, the commons are looking a little sloppy. The hair is actually really nice on this unit. Saying the blonde hair is really actually nicely done on this. Sometimes blonde hair can get just kind of like yellow instead of kind of off yellow. Nice applications. I think the eyes so far on these look not the best. Yeah, I think they spent less love on the eyes on these guys. But again, if you really care that much about them, just paint over them. We hate to do it, but they're not distracting. I mean, I've played with HeroClix and other games before. Like you're not seeing the eyes from this distance, but if you're right here, now you can notice them. But I'm not too upset about it. All right, this guy has been traumatized with the horrors of war, and I don't know what it is about this model, but she feels really tall. Like her legs feel like longer than they should be. But again, maybe that's just my perception of it. It just feels slightly like unproportioned. But maybe that's just me. Overall, the Battlecopter is definitely the star of the show here. And I think once you get like 2 or 3 squads of these, you won't even notice all the little details. Yeah, I do wish they had like I know they're supposed to be green shirts in canon. I might paint mine all like in a wintry scheme just to make them stand out from your standard army men. I don't know if that's G.I. Joe approved, but I do want some army. And then that way I can use them as Micro Corps troopers as well if I need to. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this right here is a bit of an issue, the propeller. Yeah, I really like this. So when you paint these, the hardest part is going to be maintaining this clear plastic. I tried to wiggle it out. It's pretty stuck in there. So what I would recommend is getting some painter's tape or some tape and just closing it tightly around it on the top and bottom, and then priming it. That way, and keeping it on there the entire time you paint. That way you can maintain that clarity when you're all finished. Because if you get some paint on that, it's very, very hard to get off. Lots of fun details. It's very easy model paint. It's really just like 3 or 4 colors. Most of it's gray. Honestly, if you can just prime this thing in silver, you have most of your work done there for you. And here's the gray shirts. Used to be taught to be 8 a few months. Jeez. Much like the pigeon of old, time flies. Yeah, she just feels taller than, I don't know. It just feels off to me. But I need a classic model around just to compare. Oh wait, no, the kids play with them. I was like, I have some airborne elite around, but they got moved. But again, it's not an issue. It's not as bad as like the Tanukis or things like that. I think it's like a 10% too tall type of deal. green shirts seem relatively uninteresting to play with, but again, there might be some hidden potential of them. I wish they had something. I wish, honestly, if I was to make one change, I wish the green shirts had one more range compared to the Cobra Troopers. And that way there was a little bit more play between them. But the Cobra Troopers just having six range, these guys having 5, they're really going to have a hard time, I think. But I mean, free movement and development is always a fun skill to have. This is probably our most like kind of powerless squad we have, I think. It's just kind of a passive thing. It doesn't do any boost. There's nothing. I kind of wish they just had like some initiative stuff to really help with that. Battlecopter is good. 35 points for a filler. Yeah, not much play actually in a Joe army, I'd say. I think there's some benefits for Joe characters that they can give, but he's really just a filler unit. Really just play him with your Phoenix Warlord for speedy helicopters. I'm more of a trouble bubble guy myself compared to this guy. But, you know, attack of 3 at range, if you can hit some badly placed armies, it can ruin someone's day. Okay, what should I do next here? Let's do Trouble Bubble. Speak of the bubble. So they couldn't figure out the technology for Zed Nesbit, but we do have, clear fight stands, clear pieces. This doesn't. It does detach, folks. Look at that. That is amazing news. Because that way you don't even have to block it off. You can take it off. You can access everything here. That is cause for celebration. This model is so much more interesting than the copter. Just from a aesthetic standpoint, you have rockets, you have decals, you have booster packs. When they say bad guys are the cooler team, you kind of have to start agreeing with them when you see this. I'm like looking forward to painting this. There's a lot more visually you can do compared to the Battlecopter. Yeah, this is an amazing thing right here. And honestly, it's just a bit easier to store because you don't have the helicopter blades. Like, it's long. It's like a big figure. This part right here will break. Some people's will break over time, I think. But it does seem to be a bit more malleable plastic, which is nice. But this is a really nice figure. And then the Cobra Troopers themselves. Yeah, I love the mask. You don't have to paint a bunch of human faces. Unique posing, They like the crouching in the Joe waves, which is fine. Again, not my favorite, but yeah, a bunch of squads on these on the maps will look really nice. We talked a lot about them, but here's just my thoughts on the abilities. Villainous bonding. A warlord or a profiteer is... I'm just glad these guys aren't soldiers. Can you imagine these guys bonding with Marcus? That would be wild. And boosting them at the same time? No, thank you. So I'm glad they're troopers. I think we have plenty of tech to deal with these guys. The problem is you always have to be aware of them, in a sense. Add 1 to their attack value for each adjacent unique Cobra figure control. Yeah, so they... And it's not hero, so you get the twins are automatically giving them 2. I just wish the green shirts had 1 more defense. Then they'd be comparable. But the fact that these guys have almost no downsides and are 15 points cheaper is wild. It feels like their point totals are swapped. But again, I don't know what to do with the green shirts. I haven't theory crafted too much about this. And then the Cobra Flight Pod. This is a really fun one. I like this a lot more because I feel like explosion special attacks, you have to make your opponent make harder decisions. Especially, ironically, he's the best thing into the Cobra army. I think currently out right now. I think there might be some room to have like a bunch of these en masse, but I haven't really like played around with the idea too much. Just keep on, have like 10 of these in a weird format and just kind of like move them up with Mindbender and just each round just explode with the Cobra Flight Pod. Sounds really fun. But probably not the best use of them, but have Mindbender
then have Vietnam Warlord, and then just have like 10 squads of these. And just... I want to try it out. I'll try it out one time. I ain't afraid of losing. Heaven knows I'm going to be doing... I've done a lot of that in my time. Okay, these guys are really fun here. I like the one with the red eyes. That's a really nice little touch. It's menacing. The logos are embedded on. I'll have to freehand it. Don't have to do decals. Yeah, I'm liking them. And okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a very rich blue. It surprises me. I like that it's just a dull gray instead of like a metallic. Makes me feel more techy. This is another child. Your brother's wife should be delivering a baby the next few days. New nephew's coming. Congrats. That comes off as well. Probably just because it's the same mold, put different in 2 separate molds. Yeah, I'm impressed with the Cobra box. I like it a lot more than the green shirt box for sure. Okay, we still got more stuff to open. We ain't done yet. All right, here we have the Army Painter starter set for our boy Decker here. I will be using these paints and making a tutorial for that. They come in days using just these paints, not my large collection of paints. So if you buy this box, hopefully act as a good guide for you. So that's on my pinned on my to-do list. I believe we have every color needed here. I mentioned this before, but we need white in these starter sets. Just because it gives you so much more flexibility in your paint. You can add a lot more highlights and tones to it. But this is just a great set. If you don't have Decker, it's comparatively priced. You don't have paints. Of course, these aren't exclusive paints, so you can just kind of buy these all individually. But I mean, you get to have the Heroscape logo on them, which is as a collector, is kind of nice. So we have Weathered Sail. This will be used for the shirts. Oh, it comes with some wash, which is very nice to have. I know their last starter set didn't have one, which made it kind of hard to use. We got some blue metal here. I actually don't own this color, which is nice. Some Batwing. That was in the previous set. Oh, Sergeant Drake Drab. I think that's for his back parts. Dry and Bark, good brown. Gun metal. Oh, they have two-tone metal. I think they could have probably gone for... I'll have to check this one out, but I think this might be a little bit too dark for his metallic bits. Some tunnel hide for his nose. And some molten crustacean for his handles. So we'll definitely see how far we can take this model, and a brush. I mean, not a bad deal for all the paints and a brush. Like you can use these for a couple different things. I'm trying to think what else you can paint with these colors here. I think you could probably paint a lot of the Joe stuff with this, because you have, I mean, your basic stuff, your browns, your skin tones, your greens. Yeah, so this is a good set if you need some extra paints. You of course can buy all these from individually as well, and it would be comparably priced. I think you save about 10% this way buying this box if my math is correct. But you also get a little starter brush, which isn't, I can't do anything too fancy with it. The only downside of this set, besides the white, is it has no primer. So you will need to buy a primer separately, just because you want the paint to stick to this model. And that's fine. You should probably, if you're looking to get paint, just have a good can of that on hand. But it does make it not like out of the box completely ready. I would have loved for them to have even some brush on primer in the box. Okay, let's see what else we got here. It just keeps on going. All right, so next we have our premium wound markers as the accessory pack for this wave. I mean, these things got some heft to them. They, like, I think they're made with the same ABS material. These aren't like little flimsy things. Like, they're quite heavy. Yeah, honestly, it'd be kind of cool to put some magnets on both these and just move them around concurrently. I'll say these are very high quality. These are, like, they got the decal, they got the heft to them, they got the weight. The art, yeah, like they're nice. They look and feel very like, I can't express how heavy they are. Surprisingly so. Like, they're not getting kicked around the map unless you like intentionally flick it. They move with the character, which is nice. Yeah, so I mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to get these. I'm impressed by I can't express how much this like weighs. Like, it feels like it's tungsten. It's really heavy. So these are nice and durable. But yeah, there's other ways to do wounds as well. But I think this is a nifty little solution. I do wish they kind of latched on, but we have different size base. You know, it'd be nice if we just kind of clipped on like that, but then you wouldn't be able to see the text underneath. But overall, I'd take this more as a sign that Renegade's listening and they're trying to figure out a solution to a problem. I know when I play, it's a bit burdensome for some of my newer players. So I think they'll appreciate this even more than bear hats. Okay, and we got one more. We got some dungeons. So we have the tiles here, very, very high quality tiles. Again, stress testing these, and I don't love the single hex way they do this for the 3 hexers. It's not my favorite. I get why they do it. I'm sure it's probably because of mold cost or adaptability, or they can say that there's more tiles in the box, but it's not my favorite way of doing it. What I typically do, or plan on doing rather, is taking the ones for the 3 hexer and just gluing them together. That way I don't have to find the hexes and align them right. So it looks like fun story about my as I had one set of outcrops from the dungeon set, and when I was experimenting with painting, Heroscape was closed. So I was like, I'm just going to paint over these. I never liked the gray, so I painted mine to be like sand tile. So I don't think I have any official ones to compare and contrast with, unfortunately. These ones actually seem to have a bit of dimensionality to them, a bit of degradation between shadow to light, so they seem a little bit less flat than the dungeon tiles of old, which I appreciate. Single hexers. And nice and solid. They actually feel a bit more sturdy than times past. And again, more shadow. We are swimming in shadow. You can have an entirely shadow map now if you still please. Should be kind of fun to play out. We got the 3 hexers. And we have the single hexers that people have been wanting. I don't know much about like competitive map building, but I do know people were complaining about the ratios of these. It seems like a decent amount of 1 hexers to me. All right, we got some more 24 hexes. So we got dungeon for the common man now. I've said before, but dungeon hexes are just aesthetically the most versatile. You have so many options for building. It matches a lot of the colors a lot better, and it has some minor mechanical benefits for some D&D figures. So nothing bad there. I will not complain about this. I think this is my second favorite terrain expansion so far, just behind lava. I think lava is really nice, even if you don't need the 24 hexes. It felt like you just get so much with lava to deal with. Then I think it's up there with the lore walls, with like the build stackable ones, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, this is a decent helping of dungeon terrain here. Like, you buy one of these, you're pretty set unless you're trying to build competitive maps. And my favorite thing is quick little, hey, we listen to you bag right here. Dungeon set's really nice. I'm happy with it. Yeah, you can play on it. Don't know. Hopefully he had health insurance. What's Cobra's health insurance like? That's the question. Sad part, better than mine. Yes, quicksand, we need it. Okay, so that's all the unboxing right there. That's a lot of stuff I just went through here. I don't like to shill it, but if you are looking to get any of this stuff, plan on buying on your own, I do have an affiliate link in the description. It does help the channel and enable more giveaways and things to happen here. So definitely you can check that out if you are looking to purchase this anyways.